Okay, so folks, welcome to another episode of Running in Japan. This is, I don't know if this is like the title of it. This is kind of maybe a working title. I don't know. What do you guys think? How does Running in Japan sound?
Pretty
Good for that.
appropriate.
Yeah.
We happen to run. We're in Japan. It kind of seems to be where it all happens. Running in Japan, episode number 3, and my name is Kevin, Busan Kevin, aka Kevin O'Shea, my actual real name, and I'm a runner in Kobe, Japan. And joining me this evening is, of course, Scott Brown. And Scott, where are you running out of?
Osaka, Japan. The suburbs, southern suburbs of Osaka. Beautiful Sakai City.
Beautiful Sakai City. And this evening we have a third person with us for the first time. We have a guest, and that guest would be Nick Ramsay, who is another runner in Japan. And Nick, where are you?
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for having me on. I'm in Kakamigahara City in Gifu Prefecture, which is about just under an hour north of Nagoya.
Excellent.
In central Japan.
So now I've been to Gifu Ken once. That was last fall. How would you describe Gifu Ken, Mr. Ramsay? Would you describe it as a rather urban place?
Not at all. No, Gifu's just mountains. Well, most of Japan is mountains, but Gifu in particular. I think most of the Alps are in Gifu and Nagano. So if you go up north in Gifu, you get to Takayama, which is a famous sightseeing spot. Is that where you went?
I went to Ghetto Onsen.
Okay, Gedo. Yeah, Gedo's just south of Takayama.
Okay.
I haven't been up quite that far on my bicycle yet, but nearly.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Beautiful place.
Yeah.
It was one of those places I went to. I'm like, oh, wow. I'd much rather live here than where I live now.
Well, that's when I watch your videos on Run because it's fun and it's all very urban. All these skyscrapers and expressways. It's very different up here. It's all rice fields and mountains.
Yeah. Oh, Scott. Where is Scott? Scott, are you still there? Scott seems to have disappeared.
Scott, come back.
Scott. Oh, well. Okay, hopefully Scott will pop back at some point here. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Yeah. So, okay. See, Scott, if you're there, reach out to me on Twitter or something.
You work on getting Scott back. I'll introduce myself.
Yes, so how about that, Nick? How about you introduce yourself to the wonderful people out there?
Hello, everybody. I'm from Britain, from England, the south of England, and I came to Japan in 1997. So I've been here for about 15 years. I lived in Nagoya for my first 5 years, and didn't run at all. No, I was an English teacher, and I drank a lot, smoked a lot, and then I moved to Gifu Prefecture. Now I'm married. I've got a little boy like you, Kevin, and well, being married, I don't get out so much. So that's where my motivation to run comes from.
Yeah, I guess.
Plus, I work at home as well. I teach English at home, so
oh, really?
It gives me an excuse to get out of the house.
Okay, so are you teaching? Do you teach? Do you have a school out of your own home?
Yeah, downstairs. So very easy to. I see your photos on Twitter of the train station and how crowded the platform is, and I just walk down the stairs. But sometimes it would be nice to work somewhere else.
Yeah, I suppose there's advantages and disadvantages to everything. Okay, so Scott seems to have completely disappeared.
He's gone.
Yeah. I don't know what to say here. Where are you, Scott? I'm not as savvy with this as others might be. Let's see. Oh, what do we got going on here?
There he is.
Sorry about
there you
that.
are.
Sorry about that. I lost. I could hear you guys, but I'm trying to get the comments so I can see the comments. I'll do it offline sometime next week.
Or the way I do that, and I'm actually gonna do it right now, is to basically open up your YouTube channel right beside it,
Right.
and click to your subscriptions, and then click on the Running in Japan video, and then mute it. I'm doing that right now. So I see. So now I can see some comments. I see Frederick from Switzerland is here. Hello, Frederick. I see Ron in Japan 91, who said he was in Sakai last weekend for the Futon Daiko Matsuri.
Oh, really?
And Softy Papa's here. Hello, Kurt. The epic king of J-vlogging in many ways. So I don't know. So you heard that, Scott, while you were away.
Wondering who comes to Sakai, but I mean,
I guess Japan does.
they say it's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there.
I've heard that Gifu can as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I know. Home of, but every time I hear about Gifu, I think of bears for some reason. You know.
Isn't there a lot of ex-prime ministers, Japanese prime ministers? They're all from Gifu for some reason or another. I heard that. There's a lot.
I don't know.
Bears and ex-prime ministers. There you go.
I'll Google it, but I heard that there was disproportionately large amount of ex-prime ministers come from Gifu for some reason or another.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Oh, by the way, Eric Surf 6 says hello. Hello, Eric. If you guys
Hi,
are
Eric.
very YouTube royalty in many ways.
Yeah, I went and checked out his site. It was excellent.
Mm.
Eric's the guy. He did a running video with his son, and at the end he jumped into the river.
That sounds exactly like
That was
Eric.
brilliant. And because I watched that video,
You got a GoPro.
I ordered one of these monopods so I
Oh.
could hold out the camera in front of me just like he was doing. So thanks, Eric. I can't wait to try this.
I saw your video today, your unboxing video. You got a GoPro 2 Hero, didn't you?
I did, and I haven't
I'm so
opened it
bloody
yet.
jealous.
It looks so grand in its box. I don't want to open it.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to rob a gas station to buy one of those. Well, maybe not. Yeah, rob a gas station, but
I was. My wife wasn't too keen on me getting one, but a friend of mine told me that forgiveness is easier than getting permission.
Right.
Getting forgiveness is easier than getting permission. So I just went ahead and bought it, and I'll deal with the consequences.
nice. Yeah, I know. I immediately after I saw your video, I went immediately to Amazon.jp and priced it. And I thought,
Yeah.
But I didn't buy one yet. But at some point, I've been wanting one of those. Yeah.
Tell your wife. Nick Ramsay got one, so it must be all right.
Exactly, and I'm sure that argument my wife will be completely acceptable because her being a huge Nick Ramsay fan as well as a Scott Brown fan and a okay, so we've had a wonderful brief introduction to Mr. Ramsay, who is a runner in Japan, and again, just quickly, if you could refresh us. Just because I was kind of not 100% focused while I was goofing around with the computer. When did you start running again?
I never told you, actually.
No, okay, well, there we go. Remind me for the first time, sir.
About 3 years ago, I suppose. So I'm 37 this month. So I was about 34 when I started running. But I didn't do it seriously. I was going to the gym, and I was running around the balcony of the sports hall. Which is only a 200-meter loop. I was doing that as a warm-up before going into the gym. And then I was in the gym working hard. Actually, little story. When I was on my wedding day, I was only 56 kilograms, which is pretty light for a guy who's 6 foot.
Jeez.
And I was always thin. And then, so about 3 years ago, I decided to beef myself up. So I joined the gym and worked really hard, drinking protein shakes and everything. And I went from at that time about 60 kilograms to 77 in the space of a year. And then I hurt my back, doing squats and stuff. So I had to give up going to the gym. It was too painful on the back. But I was able to keep running. Although running's not supposed to be great for your back. I didn't really have any problems, so I just started running more and more, and I just started going further and further. So, and I was inspired by two people. One, Joseph Tame.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and through Joseph Tame, I learned about Runkeeper, which which I thought was brilliant because I could track my runs. I found that inspiring and motivating to keep running and better my previous runs. And then yourself, Kevin, with your 60-kilometer
Ah,
ultra runs and your videos and stuff, but Tokyo Marathon and things like that. So
oh,
yeah,
well, thank you.
you're
Cool.
welcome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we're the same age. I turned 37 just a few months ago, and yeah, I've only been truly running since 2008. So it's kind of it's a relatively similar story, I suppose.
Oh, just to finish my story, I then went from 77 kilograms back to 62, which is what I am now.
So that would have been 20K of kilograms of muscle, right? Almost.
Well, for me, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think it would. I mean, to beef up that much in such a short time, that is impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
a
was
lot of protein
hard, though. I
shake.
had to eat myself silly. It was really hard. I was measuring my calorie intake, and it was hard work.
I want to see it before and
I
before.
have one actually, but I'll keep it between us. Send it to you private. Don't put it by your bed.
Darn, because I already have a picture there of you, Nick.
I got empty frame waiting for it.
It's a point of contention between my wife and I. She's like, "Could you please move that?" I'm like, "I don't know, sorry." A long countdown right there. Um,
It is online actually. Yeah, yeah.
uh, so I mentioned to you guys earlier. Well, I didn't mention to you earlier. I sent it to you in kind of like these kind of little show note structure. I was thinking about each week talking about in the show talking about a run that we did. Kind of just a brief chat about the previous week's running. Just kind of how it went for us and what we were doing and kind of what our goals are. So just briefly. I myself, not the best running week, and I haven't had too many great runners. But I ran about 50 kilometers, which was not so great considering I'm training in theory for a full marathon next month. But yeah, so I ran from 50 kilometers. Not that much. I ran 4 times, and yesterday I ran a 20K long run. I was supposed to run 30, but I kind of got out the gate a bit late, and got out of the door a bit late, so I left the house around 10, and by around 12, I wasn't really having a good time out there with Typhoon Jelawat. Uh, well, I kind of did have a bit of fun in the beginning. I ran from where I live on Port Island, and I ran to Kobe Airport Island, and the first time, like, across the bridge, it's about a 2-kilometer bridge over Osaka Bay, was kind of a good hoot. And then I got to Kobe Airport Island. I did a loop around the airport, and as I came back across the bridge, was it? It was kind of like verging on adventure versus scary, or meets scary, because it was so windy that I was kind of like hunching down, and actually had to turn my head sideways to breathe because the wind was hitting my face so hard that I actually, if I was like looking straight on and running, I actually couldn't breathe. And once I got across the bridge,
That sounds like the posture Scott had when he finished his last marathon.
That's true. It is. Exactly.
or my posture during the other marathon. But that was a fun run. But that 30 turned into a 20, which it was a good time. So that was my weekend running. Yeah. So Nick, actually Scott, we'll go with Scott. How was your week this week for running?
Good. I had I did my probably my biggest week I have for I don't know year and a half or something. I haven't run 100 miles, so it's almost 160 kilometers. But So this is the type of mileage that you need to do to run a personal best. So, but that, I did 160, and that's like mostly in doubles every day, running in the morning and evening. So, and I got my last 10K in. I run Sunday to Saturday, so that's what I call my week. But I had to just do 10K with the family. We went out to lunch, and while they were eating, I just ran 10K and came back to the restaurant. So you have to do it when you can. But it was
Really? Wow.
yeah, it was a good week. It's lucky with the weather to get it in. I left about, I don't know, 9:30, and I ran a loop in my home, but it's sort of covered with trees, so I had these branches following me, but they were just like twigs and stuff, so nothing heavy.
So is that your idea of lunch with your family? You know, you go to a restaurant and you're like, guys, all right, order something and you go for a run?
Yeah, or we go out and I have lunch and I just run home, something like that. I have to do what you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't like it.
That's
Actually,
good.
I'm not really good at doing these long weeks anymore. I don't know how to organize it. I used to be better at it.
I remember a few years ago listening to an interview with, do you know Dean Karnazes?
Yeah.
The ultra marathon man. He's a guy who has many accomplishments, an American runner. And he talked about with like the huge weeks of running he would put on, those 100-mile weeks or more, where he would do things like, for example, if the family would go somewhere, maybe that was 10, 20 miles away, they were going on some kind of family trip, or they're going to a restaurant, or they're going to some kind of event. He would just, if it was like 10 miles, 20 miles away, he would just leave a few hours before the rest of the family and he would run there.
Yeah, I've done that.
They would all meet up at whatever activity or event or place.
Except you stink when you get there.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, God, I don't think my family wants anything to do with me after I've run 20 miles. I don't want to do anything with myself, you know. It's pretty bad. Nick, so you were saying, actually, I watched one of your videos today on your Long Countdown YouTube channel.
Yeah, I changed the name now to just my name. You know, Google give you that option of using your real name.
Okay.
So I did that. And
So if I want to find you then on YouTube, how would I find you?
I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
I noticed that you were before called the Long Countdown, and but I noticed that the subscriber box on your video says Nick Ramsay.
Yeah, maybe the URL is still the same, so it's Long Countdown. Yeah, one word.
Okay, well, for all of you out there who are watching, if you want to follow Nick's YouTube channel, and I suggest you do, he's got a lot of great videos up there. The link will be below, not during this live show, but again, just a reminder to everyone out there, what happens once this show is off, it's no longer live and it's processed, I'm taking it down from Busan Kevin. I'm going to do a bit of editing, and then I'm going to re-upload it to Run Because It's Fun, and that's my running channel. And all of the info will be below. So Nick's YouTube channel link will be below that. And his channel is about running. It's focused on that. And today you mentioned that you're suffering from some injuries. So
yeah, I've got a sore knee, sore left knee. I'm not really sure what it's from. I haven't been running that much lately. Although I say I haven't been running that much lately. Recently, I did a half Ironman, and a homemade half Ironman, which was pretty far.
I watched that video series, Nick. That was pretty darn impressive.
Thanks for watching that.
So,
Yeah, it was,
what exactly entail? What is a homemade half Ironman, by the way?
well, an official Ironman triathlon is a 3.8 kilometer swim. I didn't do that though. I did a half. So half of this.
Still.
3.8 kilometer swim, a 180 kilometer bike ride, and a full marathon, 42.195 kilometers. So a half Ironman is half of that. That's all I could handle at the moment. But there aren't many around here, and the only half Ironman I know of is, although it's near me, it's really popular. It's the half Ironman run by the Ironman company at Chubu International Airport, just south of Nagoya. So it's all on this little island in the sea. But I couldn't wait for that. That's not till next year. So a friend of mine Oh, let me give you the full story. I'll try and keep it quick. In June this year, I did my first triathlon, just a short challenge triathlon up in Toyama. And I wanted to do it with a friend, but the friend I wanted to do it with, he's got cancer. He's got lung cancer and brain cancer, and he's not in this kind of state to do a triathlon as much as he wanted to do it. So he couldn't come up. But he said, well, you'll have to come down and do one here in Shimoda. So he lives near the beach in Shimoda, which is the south part of the Izu Peninsula in Shizuoka. It's very popular. A lot of people from Tokyo go there in the summer. It's very popular for surfers. So I said, okay, I will. I'll go down there. And together we organised this half Ironman. And he got a Japanese friend of his to join us. And he basically followed us around all day, videoing it on his phone and doing commentary. So we started at 7 o'clock in the morning, jumped into the sea, swam 1.9 kilometers, got stung by jellyfish. Then we got out. Then we took it really casually because it was just friends. Took about a half an hour break. This guy, he had invited a bunch of friends along as well, so there was almost a dozen people cheering us on. And then we got on the bike, and it's all very mountainous down there, so it took us ages to do the 90 kilometers, about 7.5 hours on the bike alone, and your bum really hurts when you're sitting in the saddle for that long. But we stopped at a lot of convenience stores and refueled and got massages and things. And then at the end, we had to do a 21 kilometer run. So unfortunately, the guy I was with, he pulled out after 5 kilometers. And I had to finish the rest in the dark, in the thunderstorm and rain. But it was brilliant. And the whole thing took almost 12 hours.
Wow.
It was so much fun. I want to do it again.
That's amazing.
How long did you have?
And by the way, Hiko Simon is watching right now, which is awesome.
Hi, Hiko Simon.
Hey, Hiko. Who he says love Shimoda, but Mrs. doesn't want to go there because of the tsunami risk.
I'm an ex-surfer, Nick, too. I know that area.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There are signs everywhere there that tell you how many meters you are above sea level. And the whole city is under sea, or would be under sea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kochi's the same. That's gonna next tsunami. That place is going under.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I live on a man-made island in Kobe Harbor, with a bunch of boats Suzuki driving outside.
You can hear them. What floor are you on, Kevin?
I'm on the 15th.
Oh, wow.
Still here. This
Sounds
guy
like they're driving through my apartment. Ah, well, those tough folk and their.
Nick, how long did your run take?
The run, the run took 2 hours and 23 minutes, but
You're doing that by yourself?
No, the first 5 kilometers, I ran 3 kilometers with this other guy at a very slow 7.5 minute pace. That's kilometers per hour. Then we walked the next 2 kilometers, and then once he pulled out, I put on my headphones and just went for it. I was feeling quite good, so I put in some splits at around 4:40, but I also stopped. We were doing laps of Shimoda Park, and I stopped to get more water and have some tiger balm.
You're cheering by that stage, or they're all gone home?
A lot of them went home, actually, and when I finished, it was just my the original friend who organised it, and my wife and my son at the finish. But that was enough. That was enough.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when I finished, I threw up.
Nice. That's the sign of a race well done.
Exactly.
You know what? Actually, last year I was thinking you actually ran a half marathon. Was it earlier this year or last year? I remember you ran a half marathon. You posted quite a nice time, actually.
What's my PR?
1:30 or something.
1:31. 1:31.
Yeah,
that was the
that's a nice time.
Seki City half marathon. And at the end of that, I got to high five Naoko Takahashi,
Oh yeah.
which was really nice.
Nice.
I think I've seen that marathon on the YouTube with her high-fiving everyone.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I saw it on TV. I'm sure it was that one.
yeah.
By the way, did you guys watch the Berlin Marathon yesterday?
Yeah, I did. What was the finish? Something's wrong there.
Well, the finish was
That guy didn't race to the finish. He's like he let Mutai win.
yeah.
What was that? That was set up.
I heard that was his training partner.
Really? But I mean, you're in a race, for Christ's sake. And the world record was up for grabs. He should have just bolted. He could have got him. The guy's on like 9 years.
Yeah. Mutai won by like what, maybe half a meter.
Yeah, the
And
guy.
it was clear that 19-year-old guy was holding back.
Yeah, totally. They said that the commentator said that it's like with some sort of invisible force field that they couldn't go within 1 meter of Mutai.
Yeah. No,
They got the same sponsor too. There's something wrong there.
it was like 2 hours, 4 minutes, and something.
I mean, wasn't. Of course, it wasn't soft, but I mean, I just don't like it when they
It
don't
was clear that it was like this young guy was told not to do it.
seem. Oh yeah, or
He could have won, I think. Yeah.
I think so, because I mean, that guy hasn't been beaten in Kenya in a race in like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
You know,
Reminds me of myself.
what?
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Scott, have you read, Kevin too, have you read this book, Running with the Kenyans?
No, I haven't. I've heard of it, but I haven't read it. How is it?
It's more enjoyable than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
The story of an English journalist who's a hobby runner,
Okay.
and he goes to Kenya for 6 months.
Much like myself.
Sorry, what was that? What's his
I mean,
how's his name?
hobby runner, not someone who's gone to Kenya, but
What's the story? It's a novel or what? Secrets?
Yeah, it's a novel. It's his experience of living and running with the Kenyans for 6 months. It's quite a fun read. I recommend
oh,
it.
nice.
Do you get any tips? Why from that book? Why would you say the Kenyans are the best in the world?
At the end, no, he didn't really. He just came up with about 20 different reasons, and he couldn't pinpoint one. Though you actually pointed out, you gave me a hint on Twitter ages ago that has worked more than anything for me. You pointed me to Rick's Running, is that right?
Oh yeah, that guy's he's a good guy. He's
Yeah, he had a post.
kooky, but he's a nice guy.
He had a post about when you run, if you leave your leg behind you, so it kind of extends and then springs forward naturally.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, I tried that, and that gave me a bit of a speed.
Rick got that from the Kenyans, did he?
Yes, he had. Yeah, I'll see if I can find that article.
He knows a lot, that guy, about running. Rick's Running, if you want to see a nice blog.
Mm-hmm.
He has a club, Waterloo running club. I don't know exactly where it is. Maybe you're
Ontario, Kenya.
Where are you from?
Me, I'm
Not,
from.
not Ontario, in England. That's
Okay. It's Waterloo, Ontario. Okay.
Waterloo's near Toronto, right? North of Toronto.
Not too far from that. That's where the once upon a time tech Cinderella story, now flounder story, RIM, Research in Motion, like the Blackberries, they're all made in Waterloo.
Yeah.
They used to call it Silicon Valley North.
Okay.
But yeah, apparently Guelph, Ontario in Canada is kind of the modern city of running in Canada. That's kind of the equivalent to Oregon in the United States.
Where is it? Guelph. It's in Ontario.
Guelph is in Ontario. Guelph is kind of where all the current great running clubs are in Canada. Recently read in not recently, in an old article in Canadian Running Magazine, they say if you're serious about running, live in Guelph, Ontario, Canada. If you're a Canadian, that is. Fine. Yeah.
Canberra is not that in Australia. Maybe some of the best runners are coming from Canberra.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in America, I really think if you're serious about running, if you're serious about trail running or ultra running, probably Oregon is the place to be. That's kind of where all the big people are kind of out of.
What's his name? Salazar's training that group up there, right?
Yep, that's right. Well, that's where also like the Nike campus is, and
This is where it's a high altitude, yeah.
Well, they have a lot of mountains there. I think for ultra runners too, a lot live in Colorado in America, which is at altitude. I guess that's like Kenya, for example. You want to live at altitude, train at altitude. That's ideally that's what I should be doing at my 50
I
kilo.
heard Nairobi's like, I think they said yesterday, 5,000 or 6,000 meters. Something. No, even the city is like really high.
Yeah, something ridiculous. Yeah. Mm.
Let alone the other mountains where the Rift Valley or something where they live.
Mm.
Yeah.
So kind of to jump around here, actually, I just wanted to get back to Nick about your running. I mentioned earlier about that half you did. Nick, have you run a full marathon yet?
Not officially, no.
No, not an official full marathon.
No.
Do you plan to do so sometime in the near future?
Well, if I can get over this knee issue, yeah. The one I wanted to run was the Ibigawa Marathon, which I think is on November 11th. But it sold out in the first 8 hours.
Yeah.
So I missed out. There's 10,000 spots, 6,000 for the full and 4,000 for the half. That's in Gifu Prefecture. But I really wanted to do it because it's my local full marathon. So I'm going to do it anyway, by myself, the day before the event. I'm committed to doing it now. So that'll be a strange one, trying to run.
There'll be nobody manning the drink stations.
No, I'll have to carry my water. But because it's my first full marathon, I don't have any time to beat.
Sure.
Now the following month I'm doing the Nara Marathon, December 8th or 9th.
Nara? Really? You're coming down to...
I'm coming down there, so...
Come and visit me when you're down there. It's
a shame you're not doing it.
Yeah, no, I wanted to do it. I want to do it, but I don't know. The other Osaka is pretty close.
I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it as well, but I don't think I'd be able to with Osaka just on the 25th of November.
What's Nara? Exact date?
It's either December 8th or 9th.
Right. Yeah, it's too close to Osaka. That's why I didn't do it. It's
probably
a hilly one too.
Probably on the 9th. The 9th is a Sunday.
It must be the 9th. The
Because in Japan, they don't have marathons on Saturdays.
Right.
So many people have to work on Saturdays.
Actually, they do. They have one where I turned up on Sunday and I looked at my ticket and it said Saturday.
Oh, really?
Because like you're saying, you didn't think, right? I just assumed it's on Sunday. So I turned up and there's nobody there. And I thought, Christ, where is everybody? I looked around and there's nobody there. And I looked at my ticket. Yep, Saturday. It's the first time I've ever seen one. It was a half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm thinking of, and it may be already full. I need to actually get on RunNet and jump on there and check. But I was thinking of just kind of last minute signing up for the Kakagawa Marathon, which is
that's great. I got my PB there. That's great.
Really? Yeah. That's the 23rd of December on the Emperor's birthday in Kakagawa, which ain't too far away from where I live. I ran a 10K there 4 years ago. They have a 10K and a full marathon.
Very flat, and the weather's usually good. I mean,
that's the only time I've ever vomited crossing a finish line. And it was
crossing the line.
I ran a 10K, not quite crossing, but moments later, I vomited. Yeah, so good times. It's not that far from my place, but I need to actually get on RunNet and check that out because that's a first come first serve marathon.
We're lucky to live in Kobe. There's so many marathons in Hyogo, and Hyogo, in my opinion, has the best races in all of Japan. The best runners come from that area. All the good runners come from that area. It's a mecca for runners. And
well, that's why I'm here, Scott.
Yeah, I'm sure that drew you. That's why you can't leave anyway.
Well, but, oh well.
Next stop, Quaff, Ontario.
Yeah, there we go. Something like that, right? No. I just have to lose 20 kilograms and I'll be moving fast. The short, stocky runner will say, "Hey, there was that short, stocky runner again." But yeah, so I wanted to kind of get a question in each week, or kind of look at some kind of beginner advice for beginner runners, and there's a great opportunity. We've got Nick here, your perspective, Scott, your perspective. And I kind of wanted to bring up some questions I get a lot often on my Run Because It's Fun channel, which I actually posted. I posted like 4 videos to it yesterday. I'm going to try to get that going again and generate some more interest, and kind of push that, my Run Because It's Fun YouTube channel. And one question people often ask me is, how do I fuel before a run? And, I've got my own theories and my own ways of doing things. So I'm just thinking, like, before a training run, before a long run, or before a marathon. And I was kind of recently listening to a running podcast, and I experiment with a lot of running podcasts, and there was one I only listened to a few episodes and I unsubscribed to, because basically I just thought it was kind of a load of BS what the guys were talking about. And then this one, it was a bunch of guys who seemed to be pretty novice at running, and they were very serious about they seemed to spend a lot of money on gear, and yet they would talk about how, running a 10K was really hard, a 10K training run, because they had to fuel so much in the morning, and they had to eat a lot of food before they'd go running a 10K run. And even if they run an 8K, they had to fuel a lot. And I was kind of shaking my head thinking, what? Because when I run like an 8K or a 10K, basically I just have a couple of glasses of water and I go. And to be honest, unless I'm running anything less than about a half, I don't really need to, myself speaking, I don't need to really eat much.
When you need to eat after your long run within half an hour. If you don't, your next
for recovery purposes, right?
Yeah, for recovery. If you don't, next day you feel like shit. But if you eat quickly and you eat a lot within, the half an hour, when you get home, it makes a huge difference.
So do you eat before you shower or after?
Yeah, sometimes my wife sort of sends me into the shower, but I want to eat before I shower. But she said, "Get out, you stink. Go and have a shower." And I said, "No, just let me get this food into me, and then I'll have a shower."
Yeah, I tend to if I'm doing a long run, it's basically I hop and take a quick shower and then quickly stuff something down my face.
What do you eat, Kevin?
What do I eat? To be honest, the greatest thing for me is just peanut butter sandwich.
Me too. I eat a big scoop of peanut butter spoon and I eat it.
And then I'll have a peanut butter because I need something a bit more substantial. And actually, 2 weeks ago I ran a 24K long run, and actually I had a glass of water, and then I had a peanut butter sandwich and a glass of milk, because I got sometimes near the end of runs I get a bit of heartburn.
It's a bit soft, milk.
With a shot of whiskey right afterward.
That's better. That sounds better.
With a bullet in the whiskey. Because that's how us Canadian teachers roll. No.
Gherkins with your peanut butter. Just dip your gherkins into your peanut butter jar and just eat them like that. It's good.
Really?
Really, seriously, it tastes good. It's a nice mixture.
Okay, as a Canadian, I'm going to ask you, what is a gherkin?
You don't know? Dill pickle. That's what they call them.
Oh, gross! That's disgusting.
Yeah.
What do you call them in England?
We call them dill pickles in Canada.
Really?
I've always known it as a gherkin. It's the thing inside a McDonald's hamburger.
But
we call them dill pickles. Oh, that's disgusting. Dipped in peanut butter?
No, it's really good. That'll make you feel better within the hour.
I don't know about that. I think a peanut butter sandwich, and then maybe one of these possibly. I don't know. That's kind of
after a glass of milk, yeah.
But what do you? So before a run, do you tend to eat before a run? Both of you guys?
No, I don't.
I usually run after breakfast or lunch. So for breakfast, I'll have a bowl of cornflakes. For lunch, a couple of slices of cheese on toast, and then I'll go running. So I don't really think about fueling for a run unless it's a really long one.
Last year, I think last year I definitely was taking my running training a bit more seriously, and I was doing pre-dawn running, which was much harder for me to do. Now I do running in the evenings, which I enjoy a lot more. I have to admit that the pre-dawn running gave me a lot of stress, because I was always feeling that it was a lot of stress to try to get to bed early, really early, and then waking up early, and then having a very young child who his sleep patterns are erratic. So sometimes he would wake up really early too, or sometimes he wouldn't go to bed so early. And like, kind of one of my parenthood duties is to get my son to bed at night. So some days maybe he had a long nap in the afternoon, therefore he didn't want to go to bed at night. And all of this really affected my running, and me getting to bed or getting up. And I had a lot of stress. But when I did that pre-dawn running, I never ate anything. I would just literally have like 2 glasses of water.
Who's hungry at 4 o'clock in the morning, right?
I used to run at 4:30, yeah, and I'd just get out the door and go.
But then it comes about 7 or whatever, 6 or 7, and then you want to have a crap, right? That's the thing I don't like about running in the morning, because I always want to go to the toilet sometime, and I got to be close to the toilet somewhere.
Yeah, that's a bit. You have to know where all the good conveniences are, right?
Somebody calling me.
This is a good old-fashioned phone. Yeah, but as far as long runs go, I run the long runs on the weekends, and I tend to I have breakfast with my family first before I go. So this weekend I had pancakes, but I tend not to eat as much as I probably normally would. I have to keep it a bit light, maybe eat half of what I normally would, because I don't want to have a really full stomach.
Pancakes.
When you go on a long run, do you take money with you so you could go to get something at a convenience store?
No, I take money with me, but that's just purely out of kind of anal safety reasons.
Yeah.
I would think maybe I go over my ankle or I bust a leg or something and I need to take a taxi home.
Right.
That's all. But I don't eat. I never eat while I'm running. This I in the past been normally kind of dependent on gels. I'd bring a gel with me, but I haven't yet. I haven't. When I hit about 30 kilometers, sometimes I'll throw a gel in my pack. So I have a pack. I have basically my ID card, my house keys. Maybe a few yen, a few thousand yen in case this is me just always thinking too much. In case I hurt myself, I can get a taxi back home or something, and I'll bring like 1 gel with me. I'll bring here it tends to be the common brand. I can get a Power Bar gels or an Australian brand called God, what are those now? I haven't bought them in a long time.
Crikey.
Pardon?
Crikey.
Crikey, they're called crikey.
The only Australian word I could think of.
But yeah, so I'll bring a gel, and I had a really good friend of mine in the States actually, by the name of Fam Pants on YouTube. Often has been awesome enough over the years to every time I'm gearing up for a marathon, he sends me a big envelope filled with goo gels. So Goo brand, which I just love.
That's good, man.
They're really good. There's some amazing flavors like vanilla bean and espresso and yeah, good stuff. But I haven't had a gel yet this time around. And actually, I ran 24K last weekend easily without any fueling.
Yeah, don't save it for the marathon. That might get your PB if you don't fuel just for your training at all. And then in the marathon, you're fueling every 10K or something. You might fly. You never know.
Well, I've heard that. I've heard that.
You might try that.
Flying is something I normally don't do, so it'd be nice if I did. Yeah, I got to admit, guys, I'm pretty half-assed at this marathon training this time around. But I've been putting up a few good times on a few of my runs. I'm kind of happy with it.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, you're not running the race off this one. You're running from what you did 2 years ago. Your 60K summer 35-degree self
torture inflicted pain,
that's
self-flagellation
still in your body, right? It's still in your body. It's going to come out sometime. But as long as you're healthy, as long as you hit the line and you don't have an injury, then you're in with a chance.
Which, knock on wood, has been a good year for me. Sorry about that, Nick.
Yeah.
But last year I dealt with a lot of runner's knee last year.
Yeah.
My right knee was a pain in the ass. Can your knee be a pain in the ass? If so, my knee was a pain in the ass. My knee caused me a great deal of discomfort and just, yeah, it was throughout the entire year. My knee gave me a lot of issues, and a lot of what I read was basically probably my hips were weak. So what I read about the runner's knee is often caused by having weak hips, or one side of your hip is stronger than the other. So I started doing like cross-step exercises. Like we would just, after a run, when I do a bit of cool down, I just do kind of cross-stepping things
Yeah.
in a park. And I would do that after each run, and it seemed to really help.
You know,
And
I used to do that, and I used to do more stretching and stuff before running. But recently, I've just got lazy about it. I just go out the door and I just.
and now you're getting injured, right?
Now I'm getting injured.
That was my problem. That's why I used to get injured all the time. Just I never stretched.
I just remembered, Nick, I went to a really good, one of the best in Japan, a rehabilitation center for my IT band syndrome. And I've still got the notes and what the exercise they gave me for it, so I'll send them to you.
That would be good. That would be great. Thanks.
Really helped, but that was a shit of an injury. Sorry, but you'll get through it, but it's not nice.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, being a budding triathlete that I am, at least I can still swim and I can ride my bike without any pain. So that's good.
By the way, I'm just looking at some of the comments right now, and I see Reynolds Air out of Kyoto, who's a new runner, and he's going to be running actually a 35-kilometer trail run coming up soon.
It's a trail run.
It's a trail run, so he's preparing for that. And he wrote, "I've never understood the throwing up. Never done that myself. Must not have pushed myself enough." The throwing up thing, I mean, I've only done it. Okay, I did it once training as well, and that was just literally pushing yourself. I pushed myself, like I redlined and then some, and that's how it happened.
Reynolds, maybe when you trip over like 3 or 4 exposed roots on your trail run, you'll probably throw up. So, 35-year-old. 35K run. That's hard for a trail run.
That is a big trail run, yeah.
Yeah. It's in Kyoto. He sent me the website for it not long ago, and it looks like a gorgeous run. There's a real lack of ultra marathons in Japan. I think it's a sport that's not really caught on here. It's kind of starting to get more popular in North America anyway. It's something that appeals to me. And my wife and I sat down one night and looking at RunNet and looking at races because
they have their own magazine now. I saw in the news.
In Japan, yeah, but there's not a lot though here to offer, not in the area anyway. But I'm someone who's always intrigued about. I don't know. I'm in a state of confusion here. Part of me actually wants to hang up my shoes for a while after this marathon.
Okay.
But yet another part of me wants to do great things.
I don't know. Everyone has to do something else. They can't just, like Nick is going to go into triathlons and you're going to go into ultras. Why can't you just be happy with running? You guys?
Well, the reason I started triathlon was because I hurt my feet. In April this year, I ran over 300 kilometers in that month alone, which was far too much for me. I didn't build up to that.
At this stage, you shouldn't.
Yeah, and my feet really suffered for that. So while I was waiting for them to get better, I got a bike. So because I got a bike, I could then, when I started running again, I could alternate my workouts just to give my body a bit more recovery. I'm guessing that a lot of the triathletes here are older anyway, so they're probably all very similar. Rotate the workouts to give your body recovery time.
Well, for me, I don't know. I'm just a goal-oriented person. I got to admit, like doing something for the sake of doing something often is a recipe for disaster for me. I can become very lazy about things. Just look at that dirty fish tank behind me. I can become lazy about cleaning things.
Nothing
I
upside
just
down.
noticed that. I'm like, oh god, look at that thing. Those guys.
That fish is upside down, floating.
No, I'm really sorry, guys, for the fact that you swim in a toilet. I need goals, and when I have goals, and it's not just about running, it's about that with any aspect of life. Kind of for me, when I have a goal, a brass ring, kind of set up clearly ahead of me. I really can discipline myself. But if I don't have that goal, I can be very lazy and kind of wander about. So if I have a goal, I really need to kind of set goals for myself. And I was listening the other day to the Chi Ranger podcast. You know, Steve Miller, he's a Chi Ranger or Key Ranger on Twitter, YouTube, all that. And he's recently really gotten into running, and he's saying that he wants to run a 50K next year, kind of like a homemade marathon, kind of like I did. And then he's talked about even bigger dreams of doing something big, like running 500K, like doing some kind of event where he runs like 50K for 10 days in a row. And I'm following a guy on his name is Curtis Hargrove, and he's a Canadian runner. He's a young mid-20s, and he's running across Canada, and he's doing it to raise money for cancer research. And his Facebook page is really intriguing. He's really into the kind of new media thing, and he posts tons of photos every day. He runs 70K every day, 7 days a week.
Kevin, you know this. Who was the famous Canadian runner who was like he had an amputee?
The Terry Fox.
Terry Fox. I saw a really good documentary about that dude one time.
Yeah.
That was
A Canadian hero.
very moving.
Hero.
Very moving, yeah.
And this guy's kind of following in those footsteps. Terry Fox was trying to run across Canada. That was 1982 for cancer research, and you know, he succumbed to cancer actually halfway across Canada. But this guy Curtis Hargrove, he's running across, and he puts up like video blogs every day on his Facebook page.
But he's got 2 legs, right?
He does have 2 legs. Terry Fox only had 1. Yeah, but still, I mean, to run across Canada on 2 legs even is, the guy's running 70K every day. And when I look at him, obviously the dude's fit as a mofo, but he kind of looks like an everyman. And when I see great things like that, then I get myself thinking, like, maybe it's just the dreamer in me. I'm like, you know, I ran 60K last year. I don't know, to raise money for charity. Wrong time of year to run it, but I'm thinking, you know, wouldn't it be great to kind of work up towards doing something like that? Like again, this is pipe dreams being spoken out loud right now, but to organize something in time where I run across Shikoku, or I run across some structure of land in Japan, and it's planned out, and I do the kind of new media coverage of it, and I YouTube it, and I this and that. Those are the kind of ideas that excite me as a runner. Big Ks a day, 50K a day, 60K a day. Obviously I'd have to build up to that. But if I that was a goal, I said in 2 years or in a year and a half, I'm going to do this. That's the kind of thing that excites me and would light a candle under me to do great things. But that's, again, that's a 37-year-old kid in me. I'm like, wah! Yeah. I don't know.
Well, there's your goal.
Maybe. But at the same time, then I got to look at reality. I have a 2-year-old right now, and my wife is, I've let the world know happily. And my wife is pregnant, and we're having another child next spring. So, you also have to take that into.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't be like, hey, honey, I'm taking off for a couple of months, or I'm taking off for a month to do something, an adventure, when I have a family, But yeah, those are the kind of goals. So I think that's something to work towards. Maybe, I don't know what, but I like that kind of.
Father of the Year here. When my wife had my second child, I took the opportunity to take 2 weeks on a surfing trip while she was in hospital. Don't
She's still your wife.
Give you advice.
Well, there you go. I will not make a comment on that.
But anyway, it's that the kids don't know nothing until they get 3 or 4, so they don't know what's going on.
My wife does.
That's true. Hold it forever.
Mm. She's an Osaka woman, so you got to be careful.
Really?
You got some fire, man.
These Gifu women have nothing on the Osaka women. Are you married to a Japanese woman, Nick?
Yeah.
And your baby's 5, right? Boy?
Yeah. Just 1 for us.
All right. You're not going to have another, like Kevin?
No, let's not talk about that.
You've got 2 kids, right?
Yeah, 2 boys. But really, my dream when I grew up, I always had the thought, I'm going to have 3 girls. Now I've got 2 boys, and I really want, my wife is getting close to 43. It's getting a bit dangerous now, but I would do it. If she said yes, I'd have another kid, and it'd be a boy for sure. But I don't think I can have girls, but I want them. You want a girl or a boy, Kevin? You don't care, I guess.
To be honest, a girl would be nice.
Yeah, it would be
A
nice.
boy, I mean, my boy's amazing. I love him so much. He's a really awesome kid, but I'd like a bit of balance.
Right.
I've also been someone who's taught young children for many years. I'm an elementary school teacher back home. I'm a certified kindergarten/elementary school teacher in Canada, and I've been teaching young kids for like 11 years, and kind of know enough about the little beasts to know that it's good to have a bit of balance. So they really do kind of balance each other out.
But also, you've got to, I don't know, if it seems obvious to me that boys are so much easier to deal with than girls.
Really?
In some ways, yes. Some ways, no.
No? Yeah. I've had the experience, boys are so easy compared to girls. Girls really take your attention and time more than boys.
Maybe, possibly. I think a father might feel that way, but often as a mothers feel the opposite about it. But no, it all depends on stages and phases.
I feel sorry for my wife that she doesn't want to have another girl to do stuff with when she's older, but because when I'll be out fishing with the boys drinking and she'll be at home.
Fishing with the boys drinking,
Yeah.
as opposed to sitting on the front porch, polishing the shotgun when your daughter's dating age,
That I think that's what worries me more than anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
About having girls, but I mean,
You want to do what with my daughter?
I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. Can you imagine waiting up for them and stuff like that? Ooh, it must be hard.
Yeah, I guess so. I've never even that actually, to be honest, that concept has never even crossed my mind. As my kid just runs around the house, with his Thomas the Tank Engine trains,
With his Thomas. Did you know Jack on Skates? You know Jack on Skates, don't
Yes.
you? She's almost due now.
Yeah. She's about to have one. Yeah.
Yeah, should be interesting. Her first.
Yeah. I'm looking at the time, guys. We've been on for about an hour, and maybe we'll wrap it up for episode 3 of Running in Japan with myself, Kevin O'Shea, Scott Brown over in Sakai City in Osaka, and Nick Ramsay in Gifuken. And maybe can you just tell us a little bit about your online presence, Nick, where we can find you?
My YouTube channel. So that was.
By the way, people wrote /long countdown.
There you go. Thank you.
So youtube.com/long countdown.
Yeah.
There will be a link below to that and an annotation as well when I upload this video later on in the week to the Run 'Cause It's Fun channel.
Okay.
Scott, where can we find you on the interwebs?
SamuraiRunning.com. Yeah, don't email. I mean, the email is fine, but I don't read it every day. My other one,
I learned that today.
Yeah, well, I don't.
You emailed last night, and you're like, "What email?"
But it doesn't send. It doesn't. I don't know why I can't get like any links or anything, PDFs or anything like that. I can't upload them from there. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's GoDaddy or something. It's a thing. It doesn't really work that well. Anyway, yeah, that and longrun.com. Is it longrunblogspot.com? And Samurai Running, and my Twitter, Samurai Running on Twitter.
So how about you on Twitter, Nick? You've got 2 accounts.
How
about
most of my running stuff is as Long Countdown, and
so at Long Countdown.
and my personal one, Nick_Ramsay.
Okay, and you can find me, guys, of course, at Jalen Kev on Twitter, Busan Kevin, Jalen Kev on YouTube, and this will be on Run 'Cause It's Fun, which is I'm going to be putting the full court press on to push that channel. I now have over 400 subscribers on the Run 'Cause It's Fun channel, and we'll push it a lot more. I was on the Beer Chat show with Molly and.
I watched the whole thing last night. It was
Oh,
great.
did you really?
Yeah, me too.
Something compelling about these Google.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I really can't put my finger on it, but I really couldn't. I didn't have time to watch the damn thing all up, but it was good. It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really,
Well, they asked me too. Mark kind of said, "What's up with your Run 'Cause It's Fun channel?" I was like, "It's a good question."
I heard that. Yeah.
Huh. But and it just made sense to put this show on that channel. So once it's basically processed, I'll pull it down. I'll put it up on that channel. I gotta go for a run tomorrow night. Actually, no, I'm gonna go run tomorrow during my lunch break. So tomorrow night I can probably actually edit it and get it up, if all goes well. You know.
What do you mean edit it? What are you going to do?
I'm basically, I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to put it into my editing suite. I'm going to kind of trim the ends a bit. I'll put like an intro with some theme music. I'll put like an outro with some music. I'll add some titles with our information links and stuff like that.
Can you get rid of these crow's feet?
I don't know how to use powerful editing tools like that, sir.
Alright.
I get rid of my own. Yeah. No, nothing quite like that. Just polish it up a little bit and just kind of make it, I think, like kind of a intro music, outro music, and then upload it to the other channel.
No commercials then?
Molly had
no commercials. No, no, none of that. We're not there yet. Unless, you know, if you're out there, Nike, awesome, Balance, you're watching. Maybe someday. That's the funny thing. You know, this in a way is very much. You think this is a niche. That's the funny thing about running, right? You think. I was actually talking to my father about this the other night. My father has always been a big fan of my new media stuff. He feels more connected to me because of it. While living in Canada, you know, the majority of my viewers are because I do Japan stuff, and on my Boost on Kevin channel, you would think that running is a niche thing, but to be honest, Japan is a niche thing compared to running. Running is a much bigger thing.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot more people out there interested in running than Japan. As awesome as Japan is, you know, running is a real big deal. You know, Nick, you bought those Nike Elite running socks because of my video, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that video's got almost 5,000 views.
Wow.
And that's, to be honest, compared to what I normally often do on my Boost on Kevin channel, is very low quality. I'm shocked by it because typically a video I make on Run Because It's Fun gets about 100 views. That's got almost 5,000, so I need to get more gear. And
I think a lot of people go on YouTube to find product reviews.
that's a good thing. Product reviews, I think, is a big thing, and if done well,
yeah.
And mine wasn't done well, and a lot of people watched it.
Yeah, I made a video with my wearing my Nike Lunar Spiders, and I barely mentioned them in the video. I was just out on a run, but that's one of my more popular videos.
Yeah, when you drop gear, because people really get out there, and I'm one of them. You know, when I'm looking for a new pair of shoes.
Sure. I bought one of these sticks. You know, these massage sticks that you rub your legs with.
Mm-hmm.
This one has like individual rotating wheels and stuff like that. But like I was looking for one, and I went online and just reviewing. The one I found only had like the makers had written about it. But if somebody else, I mean, I bought it anyway. But if somebody had said a runner had talked about it, I would have like bought it, you know, sooner. But there was nothing. I couldn't find any information on it at all. But that was one of the best pieces of that type of equipment that there is. One of the most popular.
Well, maybe we need to do reviews on the show and get stuff sent to us. Get free swag.
Swag. But I've already. The thing is, when you get it, you've already got it.
Yeah, I want one of those too, GoPro. Do you see that? Nick Ramsay's got one. He says it's awesome. Can I have one too? Can I have 3? Here. Put that on my head. I'll wear a helmet while I run. Like 3 cameras. Yeah. I'll get one of those. I'll get one of those one of these days. When my wife's not looking, I'll make a withdrawal from the account and.
Yeah.
But so there we go. Running in Japan. We'll wrap it up. You know, it's been great to have you, Nick. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Nice to talk to you too, Scott.
You too, man. When you come down to Nara, give us a call. We'll go out. I'll do something.
I might be able to. I'm taking my family with me. So.
Oh, yeah? You're going to stay overnight, I guess?
We have to because you register the day before.
Saturday.
So.
I might come out and cheer you on because I'm not.
That'd be great.
Yeah, cool, man.
Where is that exactly? Like Nara City?
Yeah.
Huh.
Be warned, it's very hilly, Nick.
Maybe I can't make a promise right now, but maybe I might come out and cheer you on too.
No, it's not far from where we are, I guess.
Oh, hey, one small thing I want to mention. On Facebook, I created a group called Gifu Runners. So if there's anybody watching this that live in Gifu or close to Gifu who are interested in running, there's about a dozen of us in this private group. and we talk about local events, and we do virtual Ekiden relays and things. So let me know, and I'll send you the link. Yeah, it's quite fun.
Awesome. So guys, contact Nick for that. That sounds very cool. Scott, anything you'd like to plug before we finish up?
I'm all right. Yeah, nothing.
All right, cool. All right. Well, everyone, we'll be back next week, next Monday, with another episode of Running in Japan, episode number 4. So we'll let you know what's going to happen beforehand. And yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. Kevin here in Kobe, Japan. Nick
in Gifu, Japan.
Gifu, Japan, and Scott.
Okay. Nick, I just noticed your background is like almost exactly the same, but different colors.
It is too. This is a Japanese room, and I got these office blinds to put over the windows because they've had Japanese windows with no curtains.
I mean,
all the paper fell off of the windows, so these were the cheaper.
The key is, guys, you need to move your head. You need a dirty aquarium behind you. That's how you get places in life right there.
What's next to the fish food? The small jar with the pink top.
Some kind of medicine, maybe. I don't know.
Sorry. I was just always wondered about that.
You've always wondered over the years. And then there's some baby powder over there too. We feed that to the fish sometimes. And you can see also this way, right there, there's a bottle of Minnow Beer Stout. You know, Minnow Beer, which is made north of Osaka, award-winning craft brewery.
Sumo handprint.
Pardon?
Sumo handprint.
That is a handprint. That is a handprint of Hakuho. Yeah.
Wow, I like Hakuho.
Hakuho, yeah, the Yokozuna. Now there's 2 Yokozunas. Yeah. Haruma Fuji and Hakuho. Oh, I got that at the Osaka Basho 2 years ago.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Lucky.
All right, guys. Take care, and I'm just going to end the live show right now, and we can chat for a few minutes.
Thanks, everybody.
But thanks for watching, everyone, and it's been awesome. Yeah, so there we go. All right, guys. By the way, what does Reynolds Air just wrote to me? Kevin, do as much as you can before the next one is born.
Does he have kids around?
Yeah, he's got 2. He's got 2. The young one is still like an infant.
Quick, run to Hokkaido.
I'll run to Hokkaido. See you later. Screw my job, eh? Hey.
But once they get older, Kevin, they entertain each other, so they leave you alone.
I know that's what a lot of my friends have told me. They're like, give it a few years, and you'll have lots of free time.
Sure.
You actually won't want anything to do with you. On that note, we'll say goodbye to everyone, and take care, everyone, and thanks for watching, and have a great day wherever you are.
Thanks very much. Good night.
Bye.